So this video is called trial and error, and that is a method that we have of factoring. When I was a kid, that's all we had was trial and error. We didn't have any fancy other methods. We just kept trying until we got it right. Okay, so we look at the trinomial. Here it is. And it has a leading coefficient that's not 1. So it's not just, okay, what multiplies to be what and what adds to be what. That 2 is going to make a difference. There's no greatest common factor either, because they're not all divisible by 2. So what we're going to do is a method called trial and error. And what we're going to do is we're going to put parentheses, and we're just going to try. We're going to see if we can come up with the binomials, and if we'll check it with factoring. If they work, great, we're done. And if we're wrong, then we have to try something else. Okay? So I'm going to so I look at the 2a squared. What multiplies by 2? Well, 2 and 1. So I'm going to be 2a and 1a. There really isn't another combination. And I always put the larger number first. So I'm kind of set with my 2a and a. All right, but now we look at the back number. What multiplies to be 3? Well, there's two choices. We could do 3 and 1, or we can do 1 and 3. And it makes a difference because of that 2. It makes a difference which one's where. So let's say I put the 1 here and the 3 here. Now I want my signs to be the same because it's a positive 3. And the middle term is positive. So they're both going to be positive, plus and plus. So now I check it and see if it works. Okay, 2a times a is 2a squared. Got that part. 2a times 3 is 6a. And 1 times a is 1a, and 1 times 3 is 3. Now we knew the first part was going to be right. We were pretty sure because that's how we chose the numbers. And we were pretty sure the back part was going to be right. Again, that's how we checked the numbers. It's the middle part. Okay, 6a plus 1a is 7a, so no, this didn't work. This is the error part. Okay, and you might say, well, why didn't you try it the other way? Well, that's the thing. Okay, so I'm going to try it the other way. 2a plus 3 and a plus 1. So this one up here, this one right here, the first try didn't work. So, yeah, okay. So now we're going to try with the 3 first and then the 1, and we'll see if that works. 2a times a is 2a squared. I get a 2a on the outsides, the outers, and a 3a on the inners. And then 3 times 1 is 3. This time, the middle term does add up to 5a. And that's what we wanted, so we're done. There really were only the two choices, and so my answer is going to be 2a plus 3 times 2a plus 3 times a plus 1. Now, you could write them in the other order, a plus 1 times 2a plus 3. But you can't switch the 3 and 1 because then that's going to be different, okay? So the 3 in this case has to be with the 2a and the 1 has to be with the a. Okay, so we'll do another example. And there's a typo in the book. I like to point those out when I find them. So I think I have it correct here, but okay. So we look at the first one. Well, we have two choices. It could be like 2 and 4, or it could be 1 and 8. I'm going to go with the 4a and the 2a first. So, and you might say, well, why didn't you pick the 1 and the a? I usually try to go with smaller numbers first, and then since the 8's a bigger number, anyway, I'll try this. Okay, now good news, at the end, there's only one choice for 3. 3 is prime, so it's either 1 and 3 or 3 and 1. So I'll just try. I'll put a 3 here and a 1 here, and maybe this will work. Now, what about the signs? It was a positive 3, so both signs either are negative or both signs are positive. Well, they're both going to be negative because I'm trying to get a negative 14 in the middle. Okay, so you can say, well, I know the first part works. I know 4a times 2a is 8x. Oh, you know what? Those are supposed to be x's. Sorry about that. Just do that little number. Okay, so And you're probably going, why were they A's? They were supposed to be X's. The last problem had A's. Okay, so you know the 4x times 2x is 8x squared. Okay, that's fine. And you know the negative 3 times the negative 1 is 3, but it's the middle term. So you get a negative 6x here, and you get a negative 4x there. And that adds up to negative 10x. So I'm going to say that's not it. So let me try a different one. Let's try 4x minus 1 and 2x minus 3. Let's try that combination. So I kept my 4x and 2x, and now I'm trying the 1 and the 3 in different spots. See if this will work. If it doesn't work, then I'm going to go to 8 and 1 instead of the 4 and 2. Okay, so we know the first part works, we know the last part works. So let's check the middle term. A negative 2x and a negative 14x. Oops, no, a negative 12x. Okay, well, it's a negative 12x. And that adds up to negative 14x. So yay, we got it. That was the right one. So yay. I'm gonna have to try the 8 and 1. Okay, so it's trial and error. So, you try them and maybe you'll get lucky and get it right off on the first one. And maybe you have to try a couple. We do have another method, and we'll teach that in, I think, a different section.